Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out, your global look at news from Taiwan. I'm your host, Alec MacDonald. This July marks a major milestone for Taiwan. It has been 38 years since 38 years of martial law ended. From 1949 to 1987, the country was under authoritarian rule by the Kuomintang, a period marked by political repression and fear. Over 100,000 people were imprisoned and thousands were executed. It wasn't until 1992 that sedition was decriminalized and the secret police disbanded, closing the chapter on what became known as the White Terror. Joining us today to discuss this period is Fred Sheen, who beginning in 1971 survived 12 years behind bars in 3 different prisons. Fred, welcome to the show.
A pleasure.
And today we are back in Jing-Mei, where you spent a year and a half before being transported to Green Island. And just moments ago, you were walking us through the very room that you spent that year and a half in. We are now gonna look at that footage and what he went through in that room.
Sometimes I will stand here and look out through the window. I try to find some explanation why I was in this room. I haven't done anything wrong that shouldn't be in this room. Actually, during the time we call that the first court. The location is under the other building. But the decorations of this room were exactly the same. I remember in the year 1971, I had my trial here. One day, I was asked to walk out from my prison room. I stood here facing the presiding judge. Then I lost 12 years of my prime time. I still remember that I was not going to accept the punishment, so I protested. I argued with the judges. How could you punish a person with the false accusation? None of the accusation in the indictment were truth. How could you punish a person to 12 long years of imprisonment by using those falsified facts? You should release me instead. That's what I was talking directly to the judge. I said, since you should release me.
So as the years have gone by since that moment, and you come back here now and also to Green Island and Renai to give tours to talk about this, it's been 38 years since the end of martial law. Does it get easier with time?
Yeah, it did. I still remember when the first time I stepped in here, the kind of feeling was entirely different. I couldn't possibly walk in for the first time. I walked around this location, Jing-Mei White Terror Memorial Park, for 3 different times. I couldn't step in here into the park. So I just around the outskirts and to try to recall what happened during the time when I was here. I still couldn't overcome the kind of pain and pressure and have the courage to walk in here. And for the last time, when I was ready to leave this place, I saw one senior political prisoners coming out from the side door. At that time, I didn't know who he was. Curiosity, I asked him, what were you doing in the park? He told me he was sharing his story with the young generations. So how you feel about that? He said the feeling was good. That is the necessity for us to stand to share our story to the young generations, because they are eager and anxious to know what happened during the White Terror period. With this, I told myself that a senior political prisoner 10 years older than I did, I should have the courage. I could be able to overcome the kind of fear, the kind of pain of recalling what happened to me in the past. I should stand out to share my story instead of keeping silence. So I continue until today. I was here for almost 15 years. Today, I can tell you that it will not hurt me anymore to share my story.
As you reflect upon that period of the White Terror, which did not end until 1992 when the secret police were finally disbanded, what are your wider reflections on that time?
Even though the martial law was lifted in the year 1987, but there were three different provisional laws, the act still existing. Until 1992, the three provisional laws was modified or demolished. Then starting from 1992, we feel that without any kind of oppressive acts or laws could put us in jail. That's the reason why I didn't want to share my story until 1992. I stood out to support all those kind of, what I can say is a protest against the ROC government. Starting from 1992, then I have the courage and feel safe to stand out to support. I think this is most of the political prisoners, they have the same feeling like me before 1992. All of them, they just keep silence because they felt that the risk was still there.
If a young person were to come up to you and ask you about why is it so important to protect democracy and freedom, what would you say to them? What message would you have?
If you forget the history, the hardship that we went through, if you don't see the importance of remembering the past, if you just enjoy the democracy and freedom, if you don't pay attention to preserve it, then the tragedies in the past could possibly happen and reoccur in any time in the future. I think one day this kind of tragedy might reoccur. So we have to say something continuously to the young, especially the young generations. What we are doing today is not to create any kind of chaos or conflicts between the ethical groups of people, different ideological beliefs, people, or in the societies. We're just trying to let people understand, and we can come to a certain kind of conclusion that we have the same target to fight for. We suffer because of the systematic tortures by the government, because the government didn't respect us or respect the so-called the human rights. Because of that, you have to fight for it. If you don't fight for it, you don't stand firm for it, one day you'll suffer as what we suffer in the past. I always stress that you have to use your own wisdom and your knowledge to protect the lives you are enjoying today.
On the 26th of July, there will be a recall vote, and it's really a historic event in the history of democracies. How do you reflect on this current moment in Taiwanese politics?
I'm a little bit worried about that because it seems like the old kinds of ways that the KMT was doing in the past was reviving as it's come back. They use a different way because they are majority. They use different way to control the country, to control the legislative yuan. So I support so much about the so-called dismiss of those legislators. They are not doing a good work. They use a different way to sanction under the budgets of the government. Without the budget, who suffer? The population suffer. Not they will not suffer. Those suffer were us. So I support them to step up strongly to bring down or to dismiss those legislators who are not good enough to do the job for the welfare of the people. They're ruining the country. They're stepping close to the other side of the country. They're trying to sell Taiwan. This kind of legislator should not be supported. So I hope that in the coming July the 26th, we could be successful to bring some of the legislators down from the job.
When you reflect on everything that you have been through, and you are now able to cast a ballot, and it's part of the recall process, how does that make you feel? What goes through your mind?
Normally, I just say this way, even though I don't feel any difference about the voting, about the elections, or some kind of campaign of the legislators. Normally, I would just speak to, before the elections, I would try to tell those people who have the rights to vote, I just told them that all politicians are the same. We have to be careful. It's not because of the parties, it's because of personal characters. If those people spoke with certain kind of promises, you have to use your own wisdom to analyze it. If what they say could be done or could not be done. Most of the political people those are the campaign for the legislative, they will say something that pleased the ignorant people. They say they will just draw a bake cake. And then I always advise the young generations, you have to think it over and over before you drop your vote into the poll box. You have to make a very, thorough, study to see the campaign, or so-called propaganda or something like that, could be trusted or not. If not, do not vote. This is what I'm trying to do. It's not because it's green or the white or the blue or the yellow. No, not because of this. You have to depend on that particular person, his character. He is the person that you can trust it. The speeches they spoke could be carried out. It's good for the future of Taiwan, that benefits the young generations. I only can use this way to try to to pursue the young generations to make the wise choice. I never ask them to vote this person or that person. No, it's not our job, right? They have their own wisdom. They can make their own decision, and that's what I'm doing. I myself was doing. I don't know how to let you know, but I just ask them to be careful, to compare, and make your own choice.
Fred, this has been a real honor. I really, really appreciate your time today.
Me too. It's my pleasure and honor to be able to be here to talk to you. Thank you very much for that.
This has been Zoom In, Zoom Out. For more from Taiwan Plus, you can visit us on social media or taiwanplus.com. Until next time.